We're going to talk more about an indoor sport right now as the NCAA announces new rule changes coming to women's college volleyball, which will be implemented for the upcoming 2024 season.
Now, some of the changes are causing lots of discussion today and some controversy among volleyball players and coaches locally. Our Caleb Yager joined us live in the studio to break it all down for us. So, Caleb, what are the two rule changes that people in the volleyball community are discussing?
Yeah, good evening, Mike. 6 new rule changes with 1 experimental rule, but 2 of them are really sticking out. First is the approval of 2 liberos for each set of the match, but the main controversial rule is the approval of double contacts. Here's the official wording from the NCAA, allowing women's volleyball players to contact the ball more than once with any part of the body in a single attempt, keyword on single attempt, on a team's second contact when the ball is played to a teammate. So we decided to chat with volleyball coaches and players to see what they really think about the upcoming changes.
Ryan Patton has set up volleyball nets for nearly 2 decades as head coach of Mercyhurst women's volleyball. His reaction to double contacts being approved for his players. He says it's about time.
I've been an advocate for a long time for eliminating the double contact rule. I'm very for the rule.
Players like Paige Miller and Bryce Hansen have always been trained to set with correct technique, which probably won't change with the new rules.
Whenever you're setting, you have to make sure you finish evenly. A lot of people double contact because they finish unevenly, so their right hand goes out farther than their left hand or vice versa.
Even though you're able to double contact, it's still going to be a better set if you don't double contact, so you're still going to try to do as good of a set as you can all the time.
For 16 seasons, Matt Darling has coached one of the most elite volleyball programs in Division II at Gannon. And Darling says he used to be a purist, but that has changed with time.
We had a match last year with one of the best teams in the region, and there were so many double touches called that the focus of the match, which should have been on 2 of the best teams in the league, instead focused on the officiating. I've long been advocating for a change in this rule.
His sophomore setter, on the other hand, has a different point of view.
I work for my whole life to set with no double touch, and they just basically change it and nobody's gonna care about double touch now.
Another major rule change was the allowance of 2 liberos per match, which applies to Divisions 1, 2, and 3.
The libero rule change, I think, is definitely a positive one. I feel much stronger about that, just in terms of getting more people into the game. I think it makes sense.
Edinburgh women's volleyball head coach Missy Soboleski told me that she was all in favor of the 2 libero policy, but in terms of the double contact, she said, quote, "It diminishes the skill of the setting position in turn and takes away from the finesse of the game." Live in the studio, Caleb Yager, Erie News Now.